while the Washington Post details an elderly, egotistical president shielded from reality by a Slavish coterie of loyalists. Never said that word before. So ailing, mendacious, egotistical, and that's from media outlets that spent 4 years smooching Biden's wrinkly ass. They were so far up his butt, I'm surprised they didn't diagnose the cancer.
I don't see how Joe Biden can survive here. I know it's better for Trump if he does. I don't really care. He's not fit. His staff is part of the biggest presidential cover-up in decades. He needs to step down from the presidency, never mind the campaign, for the safety of the country. That's
what happens when a gaffe-prone former president crosses paths with two of the sharpest tongues in modern media. Absolute combustion. Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly aren't just roasting Joe Biden. They're torching his legacy with razor-sharp wit, ruthless sarcasm, and surgical precision. From awkward stumbles to slurred speeches, from baffling policy decisions to memory lapses that raise more questions than answers, they leave nothing untouched. Biden's presidency, already teetering between confusion and contradiction, gets dissected piece by piece in a takedown that feels more like a dark comedy than political commentary. This isn't just criticism. It's a masterclass in political demolition, media savvy, and unapologetic truth-telling. You'll laugh, you'll cringe, and you won't be able to look away.
Hunter Biden said he tried to stay out of his dad's administration. It's true, he claimed he was just living at the White House because he wanted to bang.
I don't see how Joe Biden can survive here. I know it's better for Trump if he does. I don't really care. He's not fit. His staff is part of the biggest presidential cover-up in decades. He needs to step down from the presidency, never mind the campaign, for the safety of the country. That's what a big...
He left office with more ice cream flavors than coherent sentences and more bike falls than diplomatic victories. Joe Biden's presidency wasn't so much a chapter in American history as it was a 4-year slow-motion blooper reel accidentally aired during prime time. From whispering into microphones to forgetting names mid-sentence, it often felt less like leadership and more like a never-ending audition for America's funniest political moments. Greg Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly aren't here to respectfully unpack the legacy. They're here to crack it open like an expired egg on live TV and let the stench speak for itself. Their takedown isn't just sharp, it's relentless, hilarious, and backed with receipts that make you wonder how this circus stayed in town so long.
He's without question the worst president in my lifetime, and that is the proof. Because we've talked about this. His solution for inflation is explaining what inflation is. Here's the thing about inflation. Food prices go up. And what we're going to try to do, and I think this is going to work, is maybe get the prices, you can get the prices to go down. Unless it's gas, because we don't want you to use gas. The worst part about this whole thing is that his presidency is ripe for mockery and ridicule and even gentle humor if you like him. I mean, just Hunter Biden alone, in the recent stuff.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a takedown this entertaining. Now, let's start with perhaps the most iconic presidential feat ever unintentionally recorded, losing a foot race to a stationary bicycle. Joe Biden's face-first encounter with the pavement instantly became the perfect metaphor for his entire presidency. A confident start, a confused middle, and a tragic landing. Greg Gutfeld couldn't even watch it without hearing cartoon sound effects in his head. It was less presidential and more Looney Tunes. At this point, the man looked like gravity owed him money. His balance was so questionable, even his approval rating seemed worried. One trip, one fall, one viral clip. And suddenly, the leader of the free world was trending for all the wrong reasons.
See, that fella found work since they canceled Portlandia. But that was Joe Biden's so-called work husband, which is like being her regular husband, except with more solid food and less diarrhea. Anthony Brunel was Jill's chief of staff and an assistant to Joe Biden, which is pretty amazing, given that having just one of those.
And Megyn Kelly? She didn't just roast the fall. She questioned why the bike didn't tip over first from sheer secondhand embarrassment. With her signature sarcasm, she pointed out that the security footage looked more like deleted scenes from a nursing home triathlon than a presidential moment. According to her, the Secret Service wasn't focused on foreign threats anymore. They were on trip watch. Their daily briefing probably sounded like, "Forget the intel brief. Has anyone cleared the stairs, moved the sandbags, and double-checked his shoelaces?" At this point, it seemed like the biggest national security risk was Biden's own coordination.
Respect for all these guys. I don't have respect for the other side. Joe Biden would never sit for an interview with me. Same as Hillary Clinton, as she was out there saying I was a terrific journalist because I had this contentious exchange with Trump. Never once sat with me. Never agreed, even when the left was loving me, because she quite literally did not have the balls, neither physically nor theoretically, nor in no way. So anyway, there's my little rant about our weak politicians and our.
So obviously they're hiding something. Like, why would Joe never take any interviews? Who was behind the last-minute pardons? Who made the terrible decisions, the kind that turned a career moderate into a Bolshevik? And why was his schedule emptier than a swimming pool near a burrito truck? Meanwhile, Hunter has his own beef, saying the Dems only lost because lost to Trump because they weren't loyal to his father, the leader of the party.
We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Oh my God. And what was this notable exchange?
Now, let's move on to his world-famous speeches, the kind of rambling monologues that made people nostalgic for elevator music and dial-up internet tones. These weren't just speeches. They were linguistic obstacle courses where logic went to die. Greg Gutfeld once brilliantly said that watching Biden speak was like trying to assemble IKEA furniture without instructions, in the dark, while being chased by bees. Accurate. His brain seemed to boot up like a 90s desktop. Lots of whirring, blinking lights, strange pauses, and in the end, nothing actually opened. Just verbal buffering followed by a system crash. Half the time, audiences weren't sure whether to applaud, call tech support, or offer him a reboot.
With Representative Jason Crow, Democrat from Colorado, who received a Bronze Star as an Army Ranger fighting for us in Iraq. In a video of the Zoom that I was able to view, writes the reporter, you can hear Biden chastising Crow, who asked about the importance of national security to voters. First of all, I think you're dead wrong on national security, the president says. I put NATO together. Name me a foreign leader who thinks I'm not the most effective leader in the world on foreign policy. Tell me who the hell that is. Tell me who put NATO back together. Tell me who enlarged NATO. Tell me who did the Pacific Basin. Tell me who did something that you've never done with your Bronze Star.
If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a takedown this entertaining. Now, let's start with perhaps the most iconic presidential feat ever unintentionally recorded, losing a foot race to a stationary bicycle. Joe Biden's face-first encounter with the pavement instantly became the perfect metaphor for his entire presidency. A confident start, a confused middle, and a tragic landing. Greg Gutfeld couldn't even watch it without hearing cartoon sound effects in his head. It was less presidential and more Looney Tunes. At this point, the man looked like gravity owed him money. His balance was so questionable, even his approval rating seemed worried. One trip, one fall, one viral clip. And suddenly, the leader of the free world was trending for all the wrong reasons.